Coming in at number 84, we have Tampa Bay Buccaneers outside linebacker Shaq Barrett, who, is an interesting player to rank because, as you guys see, even after leading the league in sacks in 2019 with 19 and a half, I still wasn't entirely sold on him and his abilities when making last year's iteration of the list, and, he just didn't make the cut, right? That being said, after getting another year of, I would say, pretty high-level film under his belt, and especially after just a phenomenal postseason run that truly did play a pivotal role in Tampa winning the Super Bowl, I think I'm to the point now with Shaq to where, yes, even though his sacks were drastically down in 2020, the sheer disruption and really impact that he's been able to have on these games now over the past 2 seasons, that's been enough to propel him upwards to number 84. So with that being said, let's hop into the film and see just what it is that I think Shaq does that makes him so good. Probably the most interesting element of Barrett's game is that I'm not sure that there's a singular trait that you could necessarily look at and point to and say, well, that's why Barrett dominates, right? But instead, I would argue that it's more so the accumulation of him just being so well-rounded and above average in a wide variety of areas that just kind of makes him so tough to block, right? Because you never really know what he's doing, and whether it's showing off the quickness as he, comes on this twist and slants right across Lloyd Cushenberry's face to bring down Drew Lock for the safety, or this one-on-one against Rashad Hill, just again slants into that B gap and really gets the jump on Hill to the point that he didn't even get out of his stance. It's just plays like that are really special. I think you could also bring up his explosive first step. Maybe not the most explosive athlete, when you combine his athletic profile with his ability to anticipate and time these snap counts. Look at that one. He's almost getting a moving start with that one, right? Just with that lean that he's getting, and whether that's something he's picking up mid-game in terms of the quarterback's cadence or something he's studying on film, it's putting these offensive linemen in a tough spot off the bat, right? And another thing that's putting him in a tough spot is his hand placement as well as usage, more so placement against the run in terms of an ability to jab him up into the lineman's chest, or usage against the pass, because, when it comes to guys having a wide array of pass rush moves, Barrett is certainly up there, whether it's these swim moves, spin moves, clubs, rips, swipes, whatever it is. Very solid, and he's always rushing with a plan, But even with that being said, you can rush with a plan and still not execute accordingly. Barrett is so precise with his hands to the point that, oftentimes he's just beating these tackles and clearing their hands within seconds of the play. And, even if he's not getting a sack, he's forcing a rollout. You saw that a ton in the Super Bowl against Mahomes, or he's forcing a quick throw there by Daniel Jones, right? Just beautiful stuff. And once he clears the hands now, we got to talk about the flexibility and bend. I would say, again, very solid here as well once it comes to, rounding that corner and clearing the tackle's hips. Like watch this one. I don't know how much lower you could really get as an edge rusher there. The only reason he doesn't get a sack is because the running back comes to chip. But with that being said, that makes him effective as a speed rusher. He's also able to convert that speed into a bull rush as of sort of last minute to catch these tackles off guard and, really just convert that speed to power. And I would say, again, that's another reason that he's so tough to game plan against, because he's going to beat you at the speed rush, have you flying outside with your feet as a tackle, and then at the very last minute he's going to, cut up field into you and beat you and, force a bad throw or a sack. All around, all those things just make him one of the best pass rushers in the league. I'm going to show this play a couple times because you're going to see a little bit of everything we've talked about. Look at the quickness and ability to jab that left foot across Fisher's midline, make him slide in and respect the B-gap cross. Then he's able to work back outside, get really good hand placement with that sort of club as he grabs the left hand of Fisher, clears the hands, clears the hips with the bend, and ultimately brings Mahomes down for the strip sack. I can't think of very many better plays this entire last season that I saw than that one right there. But with that being said, he's not only good as a pass rusher, he's also pretty stout in terms of an ability to defend the run and set a good edge, right? He works really hard to maintain his gap integrity, and even though he's not always the most effective, that's something I really like out of him. As there's actually going to be a play coming up against the Chiefs where you're going to see, he gets blocked here pretty well by this right tackle, but watch how, despite the fact that he's in the B gap and it looks like he's beat, he works so hard to get back outside, forces the play back inside to the Sues and Veas and JPPs of the world. Just great. And I think that willingness to keep fighting comes back to his motor. Watch on some of these plays where, no, his first move doesn't work. His second move also probably doesn't. Sometimes even the third move is a fail, right? But he doesn't stop trying and he doesn't give up on the play. You're going to see this one from the Super Bowl. Practically, everybody's walking and kind of waltzing around by the time Mahomes is looking to get rid of this ball, except Shaq, who's still going and giving everything he can to ultimately force an incompletion in the end zone. You're going to see here another one. Watch him wrap from the right side of your screen in C gap all the way around the entire defensive line to the opposite side C to force a bad pass and a pressure. Just great stuff. You're going to see it on these twists. Just a relentless motor, and also a pretty versatile guy as well. He's not somebody that I necessarily would advise you to drop back in coverage 25% of your snaps, by example, but he can do it from time to time, right? If you're going to dial up some creative zone blitz and you want to, flood one side of the formation and have Barrett dropping back on the other side, he's able enough and comfortable enough in space to get the job done, right? And I think that all that stuff, bring it together, smash it together. And in that regard, I would say you just have one of the better, more well-rounded edge defenders in the league, right? Are there areas of improvement? For sure, right? He could work on becoming a better run defender at the point of attack. He could work on converting some of these pressures to sacks more akin to what he did in 2019. But at the end of the day, when you have such a combination of, a very solid array of athletic tools in terms of the quickness, acceleration, burst, those things, when you have the technical tools in terms of the hand placement, hand usage, those sorts of things, and then you have the mental tools in terms of the effort and sort of relentless motor by which he attacks the game, I'm really not sure that there's any situation I would count Shaq out of, right? In that regard, I think that's why he's been so effective here for the Bucs, and that's why I think he climbed onto the list this year. So if he wants to keep moving up, just has to keep producing. And in that regard, if you want to see me keep producing more videos, just make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe so you're always in the loop with my future uploads. Because for today, I'm mic'd up, now I'm mic'ing out. Peace, guys. I'll see you next time.